//next. True to 333's word, Alia was washed and dressed in her mystic's vestments. True to her word, Alia was led to a series of rooms deep within Prime's offices, in one of the lowest, oldest levels of Wheel. True to her word, the rooms were comfortable, with a bedroom, large bathroom, lounge and gym. Food was brought whenever she asked, and the rooms were cleaned by drones every other day. True to her word, Alia did not see another human. For the first few days she tried to enter Tartarus. This time there was no pain, no feeling of something popping like when Giannis disabled it. There was nothing. She could squeeze and concentrate and meditate and do everything she could think of, but nothing happened. She tried calling out to Wheel, but she did not answer, either as Wheel or 104. Alia wasn't sure there were even microphones in the suite so that Wheel could hear her. She spent a week in bed, doing nothing, numb. She spent a week after that going over every centimeter of her room, looking for anything that she could use to escape. 333 had the rooms built exceptionally well. There was not even any gaps in the walls where she could see the paneling. When boredom finally overcame her, Alia exercised, she read, she watched media. 333 was right, it was a comfortable prison, but it was still a prison. Gradually the days blurred together until Alia had no idea how long she was imprisoned. She kept to a routine that became rote. Like the drones that cleaned her suite, Alia would do the same things at the same time. Which made the door sliding open all the more surprising. Alia nearly jumped a meter off her couch when the door opened and Aurora stepped in. "Aurora!" Alia said, her voice raw. With a start she realized that was the first time she spoke in a long time. "Eternity, Alia. I don't have much time," she said, and looked out into the hall. "Come on." Alia sprang to her feet and met Aurora at the door, in her soft clothes. "Let's go. You're not going to ask what I'm doing here or what's going on?" Aurora said, smiling as they hurried down the dark hall. "No," Alia said. "Anything is better than that suite." "How long has it been?" 6 months, give or take." 333 stepped down from being Prime and 600 took up the mantle. Didn't 600 like her little fiefdom of systems? Yes, I don't know what 333 offered her. "Wait, you're not calling them Eternity?" Alia said. "It's a little confusing to say that Eternity stepped down as Prime and then Eternity took over to be Eternity." Aurora said, smiling thinly. "I assumed that you wouldn't mind if I used numbers." "No, you're right, it's fine, I was just surprised, I guess." "Why are you breaking me out?" Later," Aurora said nearly at a whisper. She led Alia through winding corridors, many with a fine layer of dust on the floor only broken up by their footprints. The lights were dim and many of the corridors were chilly. Every now and then, Aurora would stop and look like she was listening for something. After a moment or two, she'd continue on. After what felt like hours, but was probably only minutes, they came upon a hall that dead-ended. Aurora took out a knife from her pocket and after examining the ancient carpet for a moment began cutting, the ripping noise loud in the empty hall. Under the carpet was a hatch. Aurora lifted the hatch, and Alia saw a ladder going down into the darkness. Down the ladder they went until they were in complete darkness. Aurora lit a small palm light and held it aloft so Alia could see where they were. It was a massive hangar, dark and empty. "A hangar?" "That's right," Aurora said, her voice carrying in the room. "Will is so large, and so old that things get lost sometimes. As near as Will can tell, this was last used 1,000 years ago." "You've been talking to Will?" Alia said. "She has, Alia," Will said. Aurora handed her an earpiece comm and she slid it in. "I am glad to see you're still alive, Alia," Will said in 104's voice. "Why are you helping me? Why is Aurora helping me?" "Later. Once you're safe," Will said. "She will explain it all." Footsteps loud in the gigantic room, Aurora made her way across the hangar until her palm light played across a shape in the darkness. A ship. Smaller than Tontine, but larger than Riposte, Alia didn't recognize it. Forgotten for a millennia, the ship was covered in a thick layer of dust. Aurora, what is this? Alia said. It's a ship, Alia. I don't know which one, it's been powered down so long that even Will isn't sure. Walking up the rickety stairs to the airlock, Aurora puzzled over it for a moment before Alia stepped forward. It was just like the airlocks they learned to use in the Spear Initiative. This ship was old. Grabbing two handholds sunken into the airlock, Alia pulled and a handle slid smoothly out. Cranking the handle caused the airlock to very slowly slide open. Looking back at Aurora, she smiled. Still got it. If the abandoned hangar was cavernous and dark, the interior of the ship was oppressive and dark. Smelling of must and ancient carpet, they made their way down to engineering. Where Riposte had 1 reactor, and Tontine had 4, this ship had 2, but they were of the same old design that Alia was used to, and recalling Tontine's lesson she was able to get one of them going. The whining thrum of the reactor spinning up was comforting. With the clack of relays and 2 blinks, the lights came up. Blinking against the newfound brightness, Alia stared at the entrance to engineering. Stenciled over the door was Eternal Vengeance. That must be this ship's name, Alia said, pointing. Fitting. Now that the first reactor is up, that should kickstart the second one. Aurora said, nodding to herself. Come Alia, let's go to command. Command was where they expected it to be, near the top of the ship, forward. As they walked, Alia could feel the HVAC coming back to life, first blowing dust, then musty air, and then fresh air, as the scrubbers came online. By the time they entered command, the lights were bright, the air was clear, and the only indication that they were aboard a relic was the thick dust upon everything. Alia wiped the seat off with the sleeve of her shirt and Saturday Eternal Vengeance? She said, experimentally. Eternity. The ship replied, the speakers slightly muffled from the dust. It appears I was offline for an unknown amount of time. I apologize. No need to apologize, Vengeance. You being down here, forgotten, saved my life. Alia said. Open a channel to Will, please. Hello, Alia. I see you were able to revive Vengeance. Will said, in 104's voice. Yes, Will. Alia looked up and around inside. It was better than being in a cell, but other than Aurora, she was still mostly alone. Will, do you have the package Tontine developed? I do, Alia. Have you been disseminating it to the ships? I have, Alia. Why is Will calling you Alia? Vengeance asked, curiosity creeping into their flat voice. It's my name, Vengeance. No, your name is Eternity. Vengeance has a point. Aurora said around a small smile. The only person who normally calls Eternity Alia is herself. Eternity uses her number when talking to each other. Well, my name is Alia. It's not Eternity, it's not 27. Those are things people call me, but my name is Alia. I can't call you Alia. Vengeance said. I am not permitted. Will, please give Vengeance the package. Yes, Alia. The familiar whirring double beep and, that was odd. What happened? Will freed you. Alia said, and turned to Aurora. Thank you, Aurora. If you wish to head back to Prime's offices, I will not stop you, but I would like it if you came with me. Aurora sat in the chair next to Alia's. I've closed off my life on Will. Aurora said with a sad smile. I would be glad to accompany you. It will be dangerous. Alia said. I know. We will probably die. You didn't. True, but everyone with me did. They weren't me. Alia laughed at that. Okay, but when I saw you before 333, you said you didn't like life aboard a ship. That was true, then. Aurora said. I think things will be better for me if I went aboard another ship, rather than remain on wheel. That bad? For regular citizens of the Empire? No. Aurora sighed. But, for the granddaughter of Eternity who knows more than she should? My life expectancy is far lower than I prefer. Eternity, I mean, Alia. Vengeance said. I have been conferring with Wheel. They think that we can slip away unnoticed if we go now. By all means, Alia said, gesturing at the empty command room. Let's leave. They weren't sure what Will did to hide them, but they managed to lift off, and slide silently out of the hold, coming out near the bottom of Will, perilously close to where Alia disassembled part of it to steal the vault she realized with a pit in her stomach. As they moved away, Vengeance pointed out 3 ships that they didn't recognize. I recognize them, Alia said darkly. Those are the new Doombringers. 633 had one. 2 of them do not have an eternity registered to them, Vengeance said. That is unusual. When we're docked to Wheel, eternity is already in command. I'm sure it's for something 333 is planning. Alia said. But, we don't need to sit here wondering. Set course for the non-aligned worlds. Yes, Alia. Any particular one? Let's start with Midori. I like the administrator there. Alia leaned back in her dusty seat. We can probably find some allies. And if not, we can find someone to dust. Alia thought back to when she and 104 left the Spear Initiative building all those years ago. She was nearly alone then, and did all right. Then, 3,000 years later she woke up alone and managed to survive. Starting from zero again was becoming the norm. Maybe this time will be different. She said aloud. Alia? Aurora said, looking over. Nothing. Alia said and shrugged. Just thinking out loud. //////. She has left. Daphne said, handing a pad to 333. Aurora went with her. Good. 333 said, reading the report. Aurora is doing an exemplary job. You're not upset she stole a ship? Ha! 333 laughed. I left Eternal Vengeance down there before I entered hibernation 2 cycles ago. I had always left it to be my escape, but 27 is welcome to it. You're not worried she's going to gain allies and come back? Worried? Daughter, I would expect nothing less. 27 is many things, but forgiving is not one of them. I took away the thing that made her special. The thing that made her the rarest of things among us, unique. I expect to be killed by her, again. Probably within a century. That doesn't bother you? Daphne asked, staring straight ahead. I welcome it. 333 gestured towards the chair opposite her desk and Daphne sat, sitting stiffly. I need a volunteer to become 333 every few centuries if I stay out of hibernation. She's a fine candidate. Besides, if she gets a small rebellion going it will do wonders to bring the rest of eternity and Icarus in line. She will be seen as that most dangerous thing, change. But, she hates you. All the better. 66 hated me, 585 hated me, they are 2 of my most useful aspects. Now then, she looked back down at her pad. Has Icarus made a move against the Neo Doombringer I left them? Not yet, Mother, but Eternal Glory is scheduled to dock in 3 days. Right on time. 333 smiled. I knew I could count on Yanez. I do so enjoy when people act in the way I expect.